invite you to stand with us, and we'll begin the meeting with a word of prayer, and then if you'll remain standing with us, we'll join together in the pledge to the flag. I'm going to call on Sheriff Terman to open the meeting with prayer, please.
Let's bow our head. Our Heavenly Father, thank you for giving us a country that we can come to and have open meetings like this and discuss the important matters of our community, and then to have enough wisdom to actually do something about these matters. God, I ask that you be with these men and women here today and give them the strength and courage to make the proper decisions and to support their community the best they can. I ask that you go with us and give us traveling grace and keep us safe as we travel back and forth and bring us home safely to our families. I ask that you be with all of my deputies and corrections officers and give them a safe day at work and keep your hedge of protection around them. I ask these in your precious name. Amen.
Amen. Join us, if you will, for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We really do appreciate your attendance today, your interest in the business of the county. Have a number of folks with us. I think several are going to be recognized shortly. Thank you for making the effort to be with us. We have no scheduled comments from the public today, so we'll move right on to awards and presentations. I think Sheriff Terman has at least one officer that you'd like to recognize, so we'll call on you at this time, Sheriff, to make that presentation.
I actually have 7 officers.
Okay, that's 7 times better.
7 times the better. First of all, I'd like to congratulate all of you guys for completing your corrections officer course. It was a lot of training for 2 weeks, and these guys, they accepted the challenge. They made excellent grades, grades that I would be proud to take home to my parents. I knew I wouldn't get a beating for them if I had those kind of grades. But guys, I really do appreciate it, and I'd like for all 6 of my new corrections officers to come up here.
6 or 7?
6. I got another
okay.
Another recognition.
Check.
These guys have already received their diplomas, but I wanted to to recognize all of them. We have Amy Brown, Justin Potter, Sweetwater Watkins, Jared Ammons, Dusty Spicer, and Ed Serrano. These are our 6 newest certified corrections officers.
Yeah.
And I believe each one of them will be able to tell you that they see things a little bit differently now that they've been through this training. So we expect lots of good things from them. And I want to just recognize them and just tell them how much I appreciate it.
Congratulations to all of y'all.
Thank you.
The training that you guys do is important for us as far as our insurance goes, besides doing the good job for the citizens. So thank y'all for that effort. Anybody have comments, words to express?
I do. I want to thank y'all for entering this line of work. And people, y'all have this passion to do this. And we appreciate it. We appreciate what y'all doing and what y'all going to do.
You guys are the gatekeepers. Y'all keep the gate closed.
Please.
I
Please.
appreciate that. I do. I know that y'all put up with a lot on a daily basis, watching over our inmates and everything, and it's not an easy job. And I want you guys to know I really do appreciate that. And I support you 100%, and I know this commission does as well. Thank you guys.
Speech by anybody? Comments? Okay. How many are on duty now? That's what I was afraid of. We'll release you. No.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Also, I'd like to recognize Jamie Holloway. Jamie has just completed all of his requirements of the Association of the County Commissions of Alabama, Alabama Sheriff's Association, and the National Institute for Jail Operations at the Alabama Jail Training Academy. And he did so on March the 28th, 2019. So this is kind of a late certificate here, but it came in the mail. And we want to recognize him for this and appreciate it. Guys, Jamie's been with the department for several years now, and he's really stood up, and he's a department leader. He's got a can-do attitude, a will-do attitude, and I sure do appreciate it, Jamie.
Thank you.
If you wanna make about a 10-minute speech or something, we'll listen. Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Sheriff.
He's just gonna wait and write a book.
Thanks to all of you for the good work. All right. Next on the agenda are comments from other elected officials. Judge, anything you need to bring? Sheriff, anything else?
I would like to
At the
mention
moment?
something about, our surplus vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the proper time to mention that?
That's fine. Sure, that's fine.
Surplus vehicles that we have over here on Gov Deals.
Mhm.
So far, they've all met their reserves, so they're gonna sell.
Good.
And I request that the money be turned back over to the sheriff's department for purchasing equipment, and training. Not sure what it's gonna be yet,
Mhm.
but I know that, the vehicles have met their reserves.
Good.
So we
Good.
did go through a lot of trouble cleaning them up, pulling decals off of them, and we also have some money invested in them as well, so.
How many are presently being auctioned, do you know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And you
Six
have-
vehicles.
7 or 8 more to go?
No, not 7 or 8 yet. I do have, I know I have 2 more to go.
Okay.
When I get their replacements, I'll bless them out.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Move on to the consent. Somebody else have a comment? Yeah, Chuck, I'm sorry, I didn't call you out.
I wanted to tell y'all something, please, for a minute.
Absolutely, thank you.
You know, we had total due $12,355,725.03 when we started. We've collected $11,730,179.06. We lack collecting, or we have not collected $625,545.97 as of this morning. But don't be alarmed, that's the same amount it's been for the 4 years that I've been there. And it's the same, usually the same people. I usually try to give you a list just to make sure that the new homeowners, we want them to be known, because we want them to know this, because they don't, sometimes they forget. So we're trying to work all the people that's normally not on the list real hard, and it helps the county by about $26,000 worth of interest and penalty by them not paying it. So it's extra revenue, but they choose to do it. So anyway, thank you.
All right, thank you,
Thank you, sir.
Chuck.
Thank you.
All right, then move on to the consent agenda. We need to know your wishes on the consideration of the minutes from the January 28, 2020 regular meeting, and also on the listed accounts payable and payroll for January of 2020. Those items can be handled in a single motion. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion that we approve.
Second, nobody else had errors or corrections that they noted? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, those are approved. Have nothing under old business unless you guys remember something that we failed to note. We'll move on to new business. Consider board appointments. Page 26 in your packet has a list of board members for the Southeast Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission. We have a longtime board member, Bernard Stewart, whose term has ended, and Bernard's health will not allow him to continue to serve. It's been suggested that we consider the appointment of Joe Richburg to Bernard's seat. Joe is presently serving as a board member of the Regional Planning and Development Commission, but he's in an alternate role. We have 5 board members and 1 alternate. He's the alternate. This would put him into a permanent slot. Joe was very faithful to attend, even as an alternate member without a vote. He's faithful to be there, so he'd make a great member there. And then that would open up the alternate seat that he has held, and it's I've suggested that we consider appointing Amanda Henderson from the OP community to fill that seat. She's willing, if you so desire. And then Sammy Glover's term expires April the 9th, and we could act on that and reappoint him if you choose to. Why don't we deal with those on the Regional Planning Development Commission as a single item, or we can separate them out? Anybody have thoughts on any of those?
I would make a motion that we appoint Joe Richburg to the Mr. Stewart called.
Permanent slot? Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'll second that.
All right, with motion and a second. Anybody have questions? All in
No.
favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. What about the other slots there? Sammy Glover and Amanda Henderson.
I'll make a motion that we table those until the next meeting.
Okay. That motion requires a second. Second.
Yes.
All right, all in favor of tabling those two for consideration at the next meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, those will be brought back at the next meeting. And then the other item on here is Southeast Alabama Regional Planning and Development Revolving Loan Fund Board. Presently serving on that board for the county is Don Cotton, and his term expires this month. And he's willing to be reappointed, or you can bring another person for consideration. Thoughts on that?
I'll make a motion to reappoint.
I'll second.
All right, motion and second by Kenneth. Anybody else having someone to consider?
No, sir.
If not, let's vote on reappointing Don Cotton. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, that appointment is made. We'll notify the two that we acted on, and we'll come back at the next meeting for consideration on the other two persons.
Are we gonna go ahead and do Sammy or just wait?
It was
I mean,
recommended, the motion was to table the other two until the next meeting.
Oh, I thought we were just gonna do one on the,
We can, if that was a misunderstanding, we can certainly take that up. That's what I
I'd
understood.
made a motion to table.
Yeah.
There was a few people.
oh, I
that
just thought we were
expressed
talking about the
interest in it.
replacement, the alternate. I thought.
The motion was for both of those two.
Oh,
The alternate slot plus the Sammy Glover, just because his term's not up yet, I guess. Yeah, his is a month and a half later, actually.
Okay.
So we have a little time. All right. Next is, need to consider the county levies for alcohol licensing. Ms. Karen's provided the information for us on pages 27 and 28. Karen, you wanna share with us what we need to know about that?
We have been, for the last many years, we have just been adopting the total amounts allowed, the recommended amounts by the state as far as the maximum county fee, and we've adopted those each time.
Okay. So is there a motion to maintain the fees at the current maximum level? Or does somebody wanna reduce them?
I'll make a motion to
Maintain?
maintain.
I second.
Motion and second. Anybody else have thoughts on that? Questions? Concerns? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, we'll adopt those again to renew those. Next item is, consider cooperative participation agreement between Alabama Secretary of State, Covington County Commission, and the Judge of Probate. Judge, you wanna address that to give some insight as to this particular opportunity?
What this is just a way to make it more convenient for our customers. Currently, when someone wants to create a certain specific type of business entity, they bring those documents in, they record them in my recording department. We collect the county fee, we collect the state fee, and then we send the documents along with that state fee to the Secretary of State. This program will not cost the county any money, will not cost my probate office any money, but it allows us to do things electronically. They scan the documents in, they email them to my office, they go from my office to the Secretary of State's office. The Secretary of State's office collects the funds, they keep their portion, and they send their portion back to the probate office. There is a $2.50 convenience fee that my vendor, my software provider, will charge as a user's fee to create the program, and our software provider works with the Secretary of State's software provider to make this work.
So when the document's emailed to your office, that's when you record it, you record
Yes.
the email?
The law provides that these documents have to go to the probate office first before they go to the Secretary of State's office. So the way the software is set up, my understanding is it comes to the probate office for about a minute, and then it goes to the Secretary of State's office to preserve that law.
So it should save you a little bit of clerical time.
It will save paperwork, it will save time for my employees, and it makes things more convenient for the customers.
Real convenience for
Yes,
clients.
yes.
yeah.
And I have learned, I mean, I don't consider myself very old, but we're moving towards this electronic. Everybody wants to file things and do things electronically. And hopefully the plan is at some point in the future, we can start doing more electronic recordings in our recording department, because it is more convenient and it is easier. You know, I'm a paper person, I wanna see the paper, but this younger generation, they like to scan things in and touch a button and send it on.
So this agreement is specifically with the Secretary of State's
Yes.
office. We're just cooperating or piggybacking on that agreement
Yes.
as in a cooperative nature, no cost to us
No,
strictly. And that's the only option that there is for electronic filing of these documents at this time with the
That's
Secretary of
correct.
State's office.
yeah, that's correct.
So they're the lead agency. It certainly makes sense for us to do
The
this.
$2 convenience fee, whatever, that
Customer
would be,
pays.
customer has to
Yeah.
pay that, right?
And Alabama Interactive is the Secretary of State's vendor. They charge a fee, and then we charge, or my software provider charges the $250, and that the user pays those. They pay the $250 to Ingenuity, and then they pay it's a 4% convenience fee that the Secretary of State's vendor charges.
Is
And
this a must-do, Judge? I mean, is this something that?
They could still come in and do things, if they want to bring the paper into my office and record it, they can. But this is just another option, like we do online tag renewals. It's just another way to make it more convenient for the customers. They won't have to necessarily come in and stand in line or wait for a clerk to be able to help them.
Mr. Patterson?
Is it Ingenuity that's on?
It is.
Okay.
And I've talked with Ingenuity about getting things, where we are right now is we're just waiting on this agreement. I've talked with Secretary of State's
We're
office.
fixing to go with Ingenuity too, and we really got all of our eggs in one basket with a software company we think is really good, so it's gonna help.
And the Revenue Commissioner using Ingenuity, we're all on one platform. It makes things real convenient when it comes to property and addresses and whether a person's in there is in the city limits or out of the city limits. It's been a really good thing.
The attorneys have an opinion on having this ability?
Yeah, I think it's
Convenient and.
absolutely helpful and convenient
Yeah.
if you've ever had to stand in line.
Yeah.
We like to keep the lines down.
Yeah, they're great there, but, there is a convenience factor. They, a lot like the e-filing that we do, and we were all somewhat hesitant about it, and it's been a good thing.
All right. Sounds like a great opportunity. I recommend that we do enter this agreement with the Secretary of State's office, probate office, and I guess ultimately it's an agreement with the vendor, but again, the Secretary of State has that agreement in place.
Now, we already have a contract with the vendor, with Ingenuity in our office, and this does not change anything with that, because that $250 is just a fee that they're charging. It doesn't come through my office in any way.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve this agreement?
I'll make that motion.
There's a motion. There is a second.
You wanna do
Made
it?
a second.
I'll do it.
Joe, all right. Anybody else have a question or comment on this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right,
Thank y'all.
done. Yes, ma'am, thank you. We'll get it signed. Next on the agenda, comments from staff. Anybody have an item to bring?
Greg, I'll just go over some progress and just updates with our road and bridge department. Our Point A Bridge project, the county's, our crews are up there building the bridge. We've got the abutment 1 and bent 2 driven and cap set. We're placing riprap probably tomorrow, and we'll actually be setting the first span for that 3-span bridge probably next week. We're opening bids today for phase 2 study for the 107 job. I had a extremely high proposal come in for the first company that did that, and I opted to put out a bid because it was extremely high. Those bids will be open today at 2 o'clock. Our County Road 4 work is underway for the guardrail. They're drilling holes in the parapet walls to set the guardrail on that project. Our County Road 21 HRRR project is nearly complete. They're drilling holes on that one as well, and the paving is done on that project, and the grassing was done yesterday. We're starting our pre-emergent spraying that we do in the county. We got 2 herbicide trucks that'll start that probably next week to get ahead of this winter growth we have out there right now. And we're working on our right-of-way clearing, and for the Rebuild Alabama Act right now for County Road 85 is the first one we're starting to work on near the Potter Road area that goes to 331, and then we'll move to County Road 89, and then Beaver Dam Road, and then also a Go Mean Road. That's the ones we'll be working, getting the drainage correct and all the clearing, right-of-way clearing done. So when we get through paving, it'll be a good road again.
You have to replace the pipes on those roads, or not?
Yes, replace the
Several?
pipes and everything,
Okay.
yes. I met with Shane King since our last meeting, trying to get some money for our EWP for the damage that we had here, but none of the way the the emergency watershed project is set up, none of our sites qualified for their standards that they have. It was kind of frustrating, but nothing that I showed him qualified, so out on that revenue. I just want to discuss a little bit about our, I got a little thorn in my side this morning to discuss an issue. During the storm event, we had several roads closed, and we had one road in particular, Point A Road, that was closed for several days due to a culvert undermining. And I discuss this all the time with every county citizen Plywood Mill. And the barricades are there for a reason, and the day we put those barricades up, we had our dump trucks just safing up the sides of the road to keep the road from losing. And when the dump truck went over it, I noticed a slight deflection in the roadway. So I opted to close the road. And from that point, I took a hammer drill and drilled and cored below the culvert there, and we had a fairly large void in it. We didn't know exactly how large it was, but we had the road closed. During the meantime, my guys were having to check these signs morning and evening, and people were constantly moving these barricades and driving over this bridge. Keep in mind, I just had a culvert that we had constructed down in the south part of the county. It was $130 grand for the same size culvert that's on this Plywood Mill Road. I had to get a contractor in here to pump that, pressure pump it to fill the void in. We pumped 19 yards of concrete under that culvert. So if y'all know what 19 yards equivalent is, take one of my big dump trucks, the bed of that dump truck, that's how big a void we had underneath that culvert. And one person driving that culvert could have broke that in, and an unsuspecting driver could have come by and went off in that and killed somebody. So I'm very aggravated that people still, as much as I preach this about going on our barricades, and I wish we could either make it a felony or something, because it's a safety. It's a safety issue, and it's my job as a county engineer to keep our citizens safe, and it aggravates me that we still have citizens moving stuff and thinking they're above the law to do what they feel they need to do. So that's just a little thorn in my side, and I don't want to get off my chest this morning. And on fact, it'll cost the county another $130,000. It only costs loss of life, which is the most important. But for something like that to have had that thing fall in, and would have to have gone back in there, and I fixed that for about $8,000 versus $130,000. So people need to take in mind what we do out here is serious, and barricades are there for a reason.
Yeah.
So, and we had our Pigeon Creek Bridge, we had a logger not long after our last meeting drove through and destroyed $9,000 worth of barricades. And we've since taken care of that issue, and they just got those installed yesterday. So, but that's all I got.
Well, we had another bridge issue up there on Okie Street Road. I
Yes.
think.
Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of damage, and we're still working on it, but that was the main, I want to stress more about our barricades.
All right. Ms. Carter, you have anything?
I don't have anything.
Anyone else? If not,
Hold on.
I'd like to ask the question, is there a possible way of actually putting up some signs that would actually tell the people that is a violation of law to actually do those things? I mean, I would prefer to do that rather than, make a law or something where you've got to lock a person up.
Yeah.
Put up a sign and let them know, it is a violation to do that thing. It is deadly. You shouldn't move it. I think that'll make a lot of difference with a lot of people when they see those signs. Because like you said, we've had them up there on my road that they move those things and go right off. Now, they don't intentionally do this as a violate or something. They just say, well, it's better than going all the way around.
Right.
And they could be fixed where they would be hard to move, or, like I said, those people, if you tell them, look, this is a violation, they won't do it.
Every sign says do not cross. You shouldn't have to put that it's a crime. It says do not cross for a reason.
Okay, all those up there on that bridge did not say anything.
Which
The ones at
one?
Pigeon Creek had.
Ones up there on,
Pigeon
on
Creek?
Tree Road.
Well, it's bridge, it's showing, it said bridge closed ahead.
Those are,
And we got
those are
some-
permanent.
Yeah, those were permanent, they ran over the other day, but it is I can't remember if it's a misdemeanor to put a sign on public right of way, or it's forgive me, and it may be, I think it's just a misdemeanor to take down any sign, stop sign or whatever. It is against law to remove any street sign.
Right,
State law.
when it's convenient, you know, they'll move them, you know.
Well, it's against the
I mean,
law to
yeah.
go around a barricade anyway, isn't
Yeah.
it? Is
And
that
it-
not?
Not only that, it voids your insurance and everything else on your vehicle.
Yeah, I would.
But I mean, it was a 19, you think about a dump truck, a large dump truck, that's how big a board we had underneath this culvert. And that thing could've just dropped out any minute. My brother has the same issue right here on the road here next to, the Ford place right now. And, but he's got that one's closed. But, the road looked good from top, like I say, you never know what's below, that's why we always have to go back and check these things. And I always emphasize that, but, people still do it.
You could put a dirt burn.
We did, we had to go back and put dirt, finally, cause we didn't wanna keep the road, we could work on it. Like I said, the work was gonna happen fairly quickly, but today's time, the road, I think, might have been closed for 2 weeks, but it's open, we got it open back now. But there's 19 yards of concrete got pumped underneath that culvert, so.
All right. If there is nothing else, Sheriff,
Sir.
there is something.
I do have something else.
Yes, sir.
We are, looking at to complete some government grants.
Yes, sir.
One of them is in reference to some school resource officers. It's a COPS grant where it's a 75-25 match. The school board is looking at matching the 25%, whereas the federal government do the 75%. We would like permission to go forward with these grants and see where we stand. There's no guarantee that we'll get them, but, we do have a need for 2 more school resource officers, one in Florella and one in the Strong community. We also have another grant, it's for $500,000 with a 75-25 match. And it's for school security, which would, possibly upgrade our intercom systems or door locking mechanisms. I've spoke with Mr. Driver at the school board, and he's gonna present this to the school board to see about coming up with a 25% match. And we would just like to clear it with the commission to go ahead and go forward with these grants. There's no guarantee that we'll get them, but, there is a deadline on them, and we need to get busy with them.
So you're asking for a motion to approve the pursuit by the Sheriff's Department of these grants that require matching funds, which presently is
The matching funds would be.
contemplated to be provided by the school board rather than the commission, but
Yes.
it's still, it will involve, application by the Sheriff's Department, so we need to give them the okay to make those applications.
On the COPS grant, is there a requirement after a few years that the county take on the 100% of the salary?
I
or-
believe that it's,
3 years, and that's it.
it's a 3-year grant, and that's it. The
Okay.
requirement would be after the 3 years, which hopefully, at that time, we could either apply for
Reapply.
more grants, or we would be better suited to actually provide,
Or the,
work out with the school.
the
board.
school board's covering much of that cost, and I think they would contemplate
And
picking that
after
up here.
speaking with Mr. Driver and everything, the school board, they do feel the importance of school resource officers and school security.
Okay.
There's a balance there. Do we lock everything up, or do we keep that at-home atmosphere? Well, we just gotta work with that, so that's something we're working with the school board on.
I make a motion that we allow him to seek out these grants.
Motion, is there a second?
So,
Motion, there's a second. Ken Northey, any questions, any more questions, concerns? For the sheriff?
I do wanna appreciate what you do and everybody, all the other, like, Judge and everybody else has done, when they go out and try to get stuff done through grants and stuff like that. And what y'all do to help the county, and it's just a big savings, and, appreciate the time and effort that y'all take and do everything that y'all do.
All right. Anything else? If not, we do have a motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.